Okay, boys and girls, the last three were probably the harder ones. So I have a long problem here, but I have to distribute first. Now, you could either distribute by 4 and then keep the negative subtraction sign, or I'd like to, take this whole thing and distribute by -4. So I have r minus 8 minus 4r, because it's -4 times r, is equal to 7 minus 3r. Before you start moving things over, which I saw a lot of you guys doing, you have to combine on one side. And right on this side, I can see that I have positive 1r and negative 4r. Well, when I combine them, I get negative 3r minus 8. Combine those, which equals 7 minus 3r. So I'm going to move my variables over by doing plus 3r, plus 3r. But what happens is they cancel out here, but they also cancel out here. I'm left with 7 equals negative 8, which is not a true statement. Therefore, there's no solution to this problem. And remember, folks, that means that there's nothing I could put in for r that would ever make these two things equal. Right, next one, I think I was actually supposed to give a shout out to Gus there, so I apologize, Gus, but hopefully you heard this one. I got to distribute 2b minus 6 plus 5 is equal to 3b minus 3, which is when I distribute 3. Don't forget, folks, just in that last problem, we have things we can combine, and we got to do that first. So those combine to -1. I'm left with 2b minus 1 equals 3b minus 3. I'm going to, let's move this 2b over to this side. That way, my b will stay positive. Last step, get rid of the minus 3 by adding 3 to both sides. And I'm left with b, well, actually 2 equals b, which is the same thing as b equals 2. Last one, you could have solved using, especially since you have a calculator, you could have put all these numbers in your calculator. I personally, when I see a lot of decimals throughout, I'm just going to go ahead and multiply the entire equation by 10. This becomes 280. When I multiply by 10, the decimal moves over. I'm left with minus 22x is equal to 116x, because the decimal moved over, I multiplied by 10, and I'm going to multiply this by 10, which will get me 2,626. Now, if you would have used the decimals, you're going to end up with the same answer, though. So I'm going to add 22x to both sides, bring down up, and that equals 138x plus, bring everything else down, 2,626, which is equal to, that canceled out, 280. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to subtract 2,626 on both sides. Now, folks, when you have your calculator here, just make sure that you could just simply put in 280 minus 2620, or 2626, 2,626. But really, this is a negative number, so your answer is going to be negative. And when you go ahead and you type that into your calculator, you get negative 2,346, which is equal to 138x. Your last step is to divide both sides by 138. And what you get is x is equal to a -7. I'm sorry, you would get -17 equals x, which is the same thing as x equals -17. So, folks, I hope that helped. Please see me if you have any more questions that I didn't cover.